there's this narrative that if you have a bunch of YouTube subscribers, automatically you can just launch something and be successful, and that's about the most moronic thing I've ever heard in my fucking life. And so I saw this video today, and do you guys know who Shroud is?
Yeah,
Oh, no.
Shroud. Yeah, gamer.
Shroud's one of the biggest gamers in the world. I mean, he's huge.
Yeah. He's trying to make his own game, right?
He did make his own. Well, it's in like beta right now, but like, ain't nobody playing this shit, man. Ain't nobody playing his game, and Shroud is bigger than all of us combined. He's not. It's not even close. He's huge.
Do you remember how Shroud got his start? Why he got so huge?
I don't.
He was playing PUBG with Dr. Disrespect, and Dr. Disrespect raided him.
Oh, really?
That's how Shroud got big.
I don't buy that. I don't buy that.
Yeah, me neither. That's never the
he's big. He's big because he's one of the best gamers in the world.
Shroud has said on stream with Doc and said, "Hey,
I'm
Doc,
sure he has, but like
you have to still be talented.
You still have to retain it. Yes, you have to retain it.
Shoutouts mean nothing. Shoutout means nothing if you don't have the presence to keep people. PewDiePie shouted people out. Nobody fucking cared. You know, like it's Jacksepticeye, who a lot of people credit PewDiePie for his shout out from Jacksepticeye. I think Jacksepticeye is a bitch, by the way, but the dude's got like 40 million subscribers or whatever. So like a shout out from Pewds meant nothing. A lot of people have said that's why he got big, but
he was around for so long too, though. Like it was a very different game back then. Some people are just popular now because they were around for so long.
Yeah, that's true. But he's legit. He's a phenomenal gamer. Like he's incredible. Go ahead.
Here's
Dan.
what I think: if you get a shout out and it works, you would have been successful without that shout out.
Right.
Yeah, like I mean, well, except for Jay. Jay would have no subscribers if it wasn't for shout-outs.
What I'm saying is that's where Shroud
I see what you're saying. It's a nice origin story. It's a nice origin story.
Yeah. So, but his game is not. It's only got like I think they said it had like 400 people playing it. You know, and it dropped from the peak of like I think it was 26,000. I'm trying to look for the actual.
What's the game?
I mean, here let's
comic shader of CS:GO.
No, it's supposedly a pretty good game, but it's got a ton of hacking problems.
A game secretly for the past 2 years, and now that secret's out, and that game is called Spectre Divide, made by Mountaintop Studios. This has been a really, really fun, interesting project.
The new game that Shroud is promoting, Spectre Divide, is just over 3 months old, but is already being racked with cheaters, layoffs, and a disappearing player base. Things aren't looking good, leaving people wondering if this game is dead on arrival.
And my whole point behind this is to say, like, you know, it doesn't really matter if you have a following. I mean, followings, it's just like a shout out. Like,
right.
You know, you can get it.
I've heard obviously people say that with us, and it's just so. And I've had the luxury of being around like different industries as well, obviously in the music industry and floating around that, and it's the same story. I mean, just because a lot of people know you exist, I mean, it's a difference between people being knowledgeable of your existence and then wanting to reach into their pockets and like invest as a customer into whatever it is that you're selling. If it was that easy, then everybody would do it, right? It's not like what's most critical to the comic. His comic did not outdo ISOM. You know what I mean? Like does he have more combined followers than everybody here? Yes.
Easily.
Right? Keanu Reeves. He's probably more popular than I am, right? I think more people like Keanu Reeves.
He's got a few more people that know of him.
Of his existence. He does a comic and it doesn't outsell ISOM, right? It doesn't work. It just doesn't work like that. A lot needs to happen. A lot needs to go right. It has to be appealing for the proper audience. That audience has to be responsive to whatever you're selling. And this is why I'm always telling these, like, especially these younger creators, man, like, don't get so caught up on trying to leech on someone else's following or get those shout outs, because you're going to be very disappointed, because what ends up happening is you end up getting a shout out and then it doesn't materialize to what you anticipated. Right. And so you banked all of that, I guess what you wanted to accomplish on that thing. And then it doesn't again turn into that big success. It's just a lot that goes into it. It's understanding markets, it's understanding economics, especially for something like that to work. But yeah, Jeremy, you're 100% right. Just because you have a following does not mean people are going to buy into your stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of retarded takes about, like, people say, like, Nintendo, they're just always going to sell because Nintendo fans will eat it up. The Wii U exists. Okay, the Wii U was
we were talking about disaster. Metroid just
you gotta do it the right way. And yeah, if you have name recognition, if you have all of that, you still have to take care of the people, and you still have to do it the right way. You can get spurts of success here and there, but like Shroud's game and the player base, let's watch a little bit more of this one really quick. Hang on.
In development 3v3 tax shooter that takes inspiration from CS and Valorant, with the major twist being that players are able to control two bodies in a single round. When playing, you can toss out a puck that contains your Spectre, i.e. your second character. You can then switch back and forth between the Spectre and your OG body, essentially giving you 2 lives. It's like a Phoenix ult mixed with Yoru's kit, and it works pretty well. Just given my short time playing the game, having these 2 lives offers a ton of creativity.
It doesn't look like a bad game, by the way.
The matte graphics suck.
I don't know. I mean, it's not the worst thing ever. It's unique. It's got its own like.
No, it is the lowest of the low in terms of effort for shader.
Yeah, I personally don't like it.
I hate it.
Well, part
Except
of the reason
if it's
that you do that is
anime game or something like that.
It's cheap and it's easier to make stuff look like that with an art that art direction to go in. It's cheaper. I mean, even from an animation standpoint, it's a lot cheaper to do cell shading and stuff like that than it is to actually utilize and actually make like really well animated stuff. It is a low bar. That's why they did it, because you can do it quickly and get it done quickly.
And by the way, I know you guys are asking if this is the quartering. No, the title would be Shroud's Game is Under Attack if this was the quartering. So this is a dollar store quartering. So here we go.
Allowing you to set up traps and crazy flanks sometimes too. But more importantly, it provides players with more consistent action and agency. Rather than waiting around because you died early or feeling like a round is already over because you have to rotate across the entire map, you can be in 2 places at once. You can get a second chance. Now, the game itself is being developed by Mountaintop Studios, who have a ton of experience on their team, with devs coming from the likes of Bungie, Riot, Respawn, and plenty others. And on top of that, the game is also affiliated with one of the most popular streamers on the planet, Shroud. As one of the game's largest investors, he's been helping shape Spectre Divide for quite some time now. Love him or hate him, dude is very good at FPS and plays them for a living. Not to mention his insanely large community. A ton of companies would kill to have someone like that to consult on their game.
Flash says, I don't follow streamers. I have no idea who Shroud is. Twitch is trash. Well, he's not a streamer. He is a streamer now, but he's a professional gamer. Like that's what the dude was in esports, like Giga Chad. And so a lot of these guys, that's because he's not like, I don't watch Shroud, but like when I see him on video, I'm like, this dude is boring as fuck. How does he have a following? It was because he's such a good gamer. So it's not that he's just, it's not like he's Pokimane or whatever her fucking name is.
Pokimane,
yeah.
And give them money. And as a result of his help and the veteran team behind it, the game is actually really fun. It's more than just a copy, despite its surface level similarities to Valorant. Unfortunately, this has not been enough to keep the game free of troubles. And for people actually playing the game, the main concern for a while has been a familiar one. Cheaters.
Okay, low-key.
I don't think it looks that bad. I'm trying to look for the concurrent player list so I can show you what its peak was, because I think the peak was at like 26,000, and now it's like running at about 400 people. Now, a lot of the problem, and I've watched, here it is right here. So yeah, peak was at 26,000. So right now it's at 643. So and a lot of the problem is they say he's not playing it either anymore. And that kind of goes into it. It's like, if you don't believe in the product that you're behind, then of course that's going to tell the audience, well, why would I play it if the person that's behind it's not playing it? You know what I mean?
100% it too. Yeah. Like, yeah, if you don't believe in the product, if you don't believe in what you're selling, and this is it's a problem. I know Ripa can attest to this too. There's a difference between I'm going to put my name on a thing just because it's something I might be excited about or want to get into. And so my interests align with this. And I'm going to create a thing from the ground up that I'm invested in and a part of, that I believe in and that I know every aspect of. It's like, you know, even if you find another company that's going to make the game for you, for him to just be like, yeah, I'm going to attach my name to it and give him money to help the company get off the ground, versus like, you know, I decided this was a game that I had a vision for, that I think needed to happen in the gaming community, that needed to be a thing, and then I crafted it from the ground up. And so then the audience is resonating with it because they feel like, oh man, I've been looking for a game like this, versus, yeah, it kind of looks like this, but it differentiates itself a little bit, you know. But if Shroud isn't even playing this anymore, it should say a lot about the longevity of the game anyways. Maybe it was fun in the beginning, but doesn't have legs. That's the other part of it. It's like some of the things that Call of Duty has done very well is they have perfected the feedback loop of gaming. Like you get in, it's crazy, it's fast paced, it's insane. Whether you win or lose, you're either pissed off or you're happy and talking shit, and then you go to the next game and you'll play that for hours. They have that, you know, perfected. Same with Fortnite in the battle royale and the way that they have it set up. You're enjoying it. It can be competitive. It can be crazy. It can be wild. No two games are alike, you know. But to say, well, it kind of looks a little bit like this, but it's not really like that, and it's like, okay, then what are we supposed to believe about this game? What's supposed to make me excited?
It would be like Elon Musk buying Twitter and then getting on Facebook and talking about Twitter.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you have to be, again, you're going to be your best salesman on anything that you're involved in, and the audience picks up on that. Look, I've done a long form video kind of discussing this aspect of like, just being good at something isn't good enough, or feeling like you're good at something, or you're experienced isn't good enough to sell it. Maybe that, I don't believe that was ever the case. Some people do, but especially now, I don't think it can be denied. You have to sell something else. And yeah, the audience picks up on that investment. Like, it would have been very, very silly of me, and it for sure wouldn't have worked long term with the Riververse if I'd have just, all right, well, we're going to call it Riververse, I'm going to invest my some money into it, and then I'm kind of just going to bam. And most of my conversations that I'm having, especially online, are going to be pertaining to other things. That's not how this works. Like, if you want it to really get off the ground, you want to make a living out of it, you want it to grow into something, then you got to be all the way invested, because the audience picks up on that, and they're more likely to be invested in something that you yourself, especially if they are fond of you. And I think that's the key that I think a lot of people miss when it's like, hey, I got this big following, I can just sell them a thing. And it's not like that. They're going to pick up on if you're just slapping your name on it for a quick buck, versus, okay, this is something that this person has passion in, they're actually invested in, and they're going to be working hard for. The audience picks up on that big time.
Yep.
100%, man.
So yeah, I just thought that was interesting to bring up, because it's when you hear the name Shroud, if you know anything about, like, you know, these esports guys and all that, just putting your name behind it, it's not an automatic by any means. It's just not how it works. So